All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings in today's video. I apologize. I don't know how we went a week and a half without talking about the Vikings draft. And honestly, I'm glad. And the reason is because I don't know why every single summer, every single spring, it feels like we're doing this. People are not buying the Minnesota Vikings. They're not buying their free agency. They're not buying at their draft. And I don't understand it. And I got this quote. We're going to talk about the draft and starting with Donovan Jackson in just 30 seconds here. But here's a quote I got from The Athletic about the Vikings that I just don't love. The Vikings entered the draft with the fewest picks in the league and ended up only making one top 100 pick. So it's not shocking they ended up as a loser. Still, they didn't make the most of the picks they did have. Their first three picks were all reaches by the consensus board, and their first round selection wasn't at a premium position, though it was for a big need. And I just don't like it. The Minnesota Vikings entered this draft with just a handful of picks, and what people didn't really realize is there was not really many pressing major flaws. There was one major pressing flaw, and that was the left guard. And so when we look at the Minnesota Vikings 24th pick overall, who did they draft? They drafted Donovan Jackson, a guard out of the Ohio State University. Now, people were thinking maybe they were going to trade down because they didn't really have any draft picks. Well, they got their guy. And Donovan Jackson, whether you agree he should have been taken at 24 or not, it really doesn't matter. Their offensive line is set. And that's all. I guarantee you Aiden O'Connell cared about Aiden O'Connell. We're talking about Raiders backup QBs. Kevin O'Connell, my apologies. Like Kevin O'Connell, I have a quote here. He said this following the team's wild card playoff loss to the Rams, where they allowed 9 total sacks and struggled desperately in the run game. He had this quote: "There's no question we've got to find a way to solidify the interior of the pocket." So Will Fries, Ryan Kelly were brought here in free agency, and then you got your left guard of the future, who also played left tackle last season for Ohio State. So he graded above the 75th percentile in run blocking grade on both zone and gap schemes. He has experience at both guard and tackle. So you have flexibility long term, and you have a day one starter at left guard. So when I look at the Vikings offensive line, left tackle to right tackle, money. It's absolute freaking money. And who's your quarterback next season? It's essentially rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy. So when we look at round 3, 102, oh, this was a reach. This was a reach. This was a reach. Ty Felton, wide receiver out of Maryland at 102. That's a reach. Well, why is it a reach? Last season, he had 96 catches at Maryland. That's the most in school history. He ran a 4.37 in the 40-yard dash. And I keep seeing this narrative. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a scout, but I keep seeing this narrative that he can't run routes. I don't see that. He's not just a vertical speed guy. So last year at Maryland, career highs in catches at 96, yardage at 1,119, and PFF receiving grade at 80.2. So he joins a group of JJ, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, and then tight end and TJ Hawkinson. And we'll talk about your rookie tight end in just a second here. So it's like, here's the thing. If Kevin O'Connell, your wide receiver coach, and your GM think Ty Felton's the pick at 102, well, considering how it's gone with JJ and Jordan Addison, and even the Jalen Naylor free agency pick, I'm going to trust it. So I don't care if PFF had this as an overreach. The Athletic, ESPN had this as an overreach. Okay, I don't know what that does for me. This is a guy who's going to produce day one on special teams, and he's also 4.37. I don't really need to say too much more. So if Kevin O'Connell wants a wide receiver, if you're a wide receiver coach, I, of course, forgot his name making this video. I apologize if somebody can remind me down below in the comment section. If he wants a wide receiver, take the wide receiver. My favorite pick in the draft is round 5, 139. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, defensive lineman out of Georgia. Now, I've been saying in my my draft videos in the last week or so, I've been saying my philosophy for draft picks are you can't go wrong with two things: SEC football players and the team that just won the national championship. And usually that's an SEC guy. And I understand now because, the Big Ten is the new Big Ten. I get it that they're also included in that group. But my point is, this is a defensive lineman from Georgia. And if Brian Flores wants a defensive lineman from Georgia, I'm going to feel very confident in that draft pick. So he's 280 pounds. And you guys, once again, very similar to the guard position at 24. Was it 24? Yeah, 24. A couple of free agents were already picked up. So look, right? Oh, well, the Vikings have a bad interior offensive line. All right. Well, they picked up Ryan Kelly and Will Fries in free agency. All right. Well, the Vikings lost some pieces on the D line. All right. Well, they added Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. Now, they're on big contracts. Jonathan Allen's 30, Hargrave's 32, and nose tackle Harrison Phillips is 29. So it's not an immediate pressing need. It's not a need at all, actually, as far as starting calibers go. But long-term development, depth, it's definitely a need. And so he provides you that youth. He's actually, honestly, in my opinion, going to earn a spot in this rotation next season. That's how big he is. He's especially good against the run. The Vikings were the second best rush defense next season. He's going to make that even better. He posted a 70.8 run defensive grade while also contributing 18 total pressures as a pass rusher. Think Jihad Ward last season. That's the type of role I see this honestly gem of a draft pick in Ingram-Dawkins. Seriously, might make a whole video on him. That's how much I believe in this. Now, my only pick I didn't love from the Vikings was round 6, 202, Gavin Bartholomew, tight end out of Pittsburgh. And there's only two reasons for this. First off, we're talking a 6th round pick. So it comes in with a certain amount of expectations, and that's not too many expectations. Now, there are some things I love. He caught 38 catches last year for only 322 yards, but 170 of those were yards after the catch, and 20 of those were for a first down. So he's efficient, and that's what I think Kevin O'Connell wanted Gavin Bartholomew. And, it is, and a lot of you guys say this in the comment section, even all last year, it's time to start thinking about post TJ Hawkinson. All right. So this is joining that group. One of my favorite picks in every mock draft I picked in the 6th or 7th round, I would take this guy, Kobe King, linebacker out of Penn State, immediate special teams guy. But the linebacker group right now is Blake Cashman and Ivan Pace. Once again, very similar to the George guy in round 5. If Brian Flores wants a linebacker, if he wants a player, he can have that player. All right. Line of scrimmage, something to keep an eye on with Kobe King. He was a run-stopping specialist at Penn State, earned an 89.2 grade. All right. He also had 15 coverage stops in 2024. So a linebacker in the 6th round, 201, and Kobe King. I think that's a starting caliber player. And once again, I don't even think people know who Ivan Pace Jr. is. I don't know if you guys remember. We made Vikings videos 2 summers ago. Was it 3? I don't think it was 3. I think it was 2 summers ago. We were talking about undrafted free agent Ivan Pace, and the guy's a beast, and obviously Blake Cashman's a beast. But for a team that just went 14-3, I know there's a new quarterback in town, but they got their starting left guard, and that was really the only thing I cared about for the Minnesota Vikings heading into this draft. So I liked the draft, and this is a competitive team, so yeah, that's how you stay good. But folks, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, and let me know down below your favorite pick to the Vikings and your gem draft pick for Minnesota. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Peace.